Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm glad to be joined again by my friend and business partner, Mr. Michael Vincent, Mr. Podcaster Extraordinaire. He is president of OPT USA. And we work together on fuel reduction, emissions reduction, and plastics waste reduction.
Right on.
And this whole area of sustainability. And we're talking about all kinds of things going on. How are you doing today, Michael?
I'm doing great, man. I got a couple bloody knuckles, a lot of dirt under my fingernails. I'm at OPT offices again. You can see it. There's no Sasquatches or anything like that behind me. So, or OPT office. There's no S at the end of it. But yeah, we've got our micro recycling pod up and running. We're crunching plastics today, which is exciting. So that's really cool. So yeah, I'm pumped today, man. I'm energetic.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've been out there in the shop, in the warehouse, working on things, crunching some plastic, right?
Absolutely. That's what you do, man. I'm the janitor. I run the machine. I put the machine together. I do the marketing. I do all that stuff. I got a partner, but he just usually sleeps. No. Ken, my business partner, is awesome. He's the operations guy. He's awesome.
Well, you know, I've worked with fleets for like 27 years now, right? I've been in every kind of warehouse, distribution center, terminal, yard, moving boxes, putting labels on pallet racks. I mean, I've done it pretty much all over the years, and there's nothing wrong with a little bit of exercise now and then, right?
No, certainly not. Absolutely not. No, I prefer it. I hate sitting at a desk, just sitting at a desk. I don't like it. I'd rather manage by walking around, I guess is the word. But anyway,
I have a whole lot more fun interacting with people out on the road. Like, it's just fun, you know?
Yep. Agreed. Agreed.
Well, kudos to you on what you're doing with the plastics waste recycling, reduction of plastics waste. And all of the cool things going on with that. Very cool stuff. And
we are getting there. We're getting there.
Absolutely.
But hey, CyberFuels too is the other thing I'm excited about.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about, what are we talking about today, man? What do you got on the agenda today?
You know, we're going to be talking about what is the Clean Cities Coalition Network.
Aha.
Right? You actually introduced me to a friend of yours, John, that's involved in the Tennessee Coalition, and I've connected with some other folks as well, and it's really right in line with the things we've been talking about. So I wasn't real familiar with it, obviously, and then I learned about it through you and a friend of yours, and I dove in a little deeper. So for those of you out there that don't know, what is Clean Cities Coalition Network? It is a part of the Department of Energy Vehicle Technologies Office. Clean Cities Coalitions foster the nation's economic, environmental, and energy security by working locally to advance affordable domestic transportation fuels, energy-efficient mobility systems, and other fuel-saving technologies and practices. Does that sound familiar?
It does. I think the thing that people are going to be shocked about is how long these guys and girls have been doing this.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt.
John, and you're talking about John Overly, East Tennessee Green Fuels Green Fuels. He told me, and I was like, what?
Yeah, absolutely. So it goes back to 1993.
Yeah.
Been around for a little while.
That's a bit. Yeah.
And according to this website, it has impacted nearly 13 billion gasoline gallon equivalents through the implementation of diverse transportation projects. There are more than 75 coalitions across the U.S. working in communities to implement alternative fuels, fuel-saving technologies and practices, and new mobility choices. That's quite an impact. 13 billion gasoline gallon equivalents. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, it sounds like a ton to me. I mean, that's a bunch, right?
That's more than a tank on my truck. That's for sure.
I tell you what, sometimes when I pay for it, it feels like I bought $13 billion, barrels of, yeah, no, I mean, 13 billion gasoline gallons. I bet I don't burn that in my entire life. I would imagine.
I don't think so. Probably not. No, I've got a 26-gallon tank. It would take me a whole lot of driving to do 13 billion gasoline gallon equivalents.
Yeah, I would. I think so. So, I mean, okay, yeah, but I mean, if you mixed all those 13 billion with some CyberFuels, it would take it down to about 10 billion, right? Because it would reduce that consumption by about 20% right there.
Absolutely. You know, we're averaging 20% fuel economy improvement,
Yeah,
proven through
yeah,
independent studies, and also
yeah.
emissions reduction at combustion of 22%. So we're absolutely right in the thick of this stuff, and getting more and
So
more involved as well all the time. So nationwide, there's nearly 20,000 stakeholders that
I was going
participate.
to ask you, who are these 75 guys throughout the nation that have been hanging out for since 1993? But there's 20,000 of them. Okay, that's a little more
20,000
impressive.
people participate.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And it actually goes all the way back to the Alternative Motor Fuels Act of 1988 and the Clean Air Act Amendments of 1990, which kind of kicked it off, right? Got it kind of rolling. And then there was in 1992, the enactment of the Energy Policy Act, EP Act, required certain vehicle fleets to acquire alternative fuel vehicles. Subsequently, the Department of Energy created Clean Cities in 1993 to provide informational, technical, and financial resources to EPA Act regulated fleets and voluntary adopters of alternative fuels and vehicles. So that's kind of what got it
Wow.
all going underway. But they talk a lot about fuel economy improvement, you know, and we're right in the thick of that. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. It's amazing to me that all this stuff was put together back, and I lived through this, right? But I wasn't paying attention. I remember what in the '70s when there was a fuel shortage and all that other kind of stuff when Carter was in office, and boy, we didn't have any gasoline. I think it jumped from like 10 cents a gallon to 12, and everybody had a heart attack. And
Right, right. Everybody went out and bought a Volkswagen Bug at that time,
yeah, everybody
right?
bought a Volkswagen Bug, and then everything was cool again. And we started buying Cadillacs and Escalades and all that kind of stuff for a while again. All of a sudden there's well, we got fuel, but yeah, crazy stuff that it's been around that long. But they do a lot of really good stuff in helping fleets and people adopt stuff, right? So people donate and they get funds donated to them through the government, et cetera, right? To do this and educate and help people. Like if you're an industry or you're a small fleet and you want to get into this, you can like clean up your fleet or get into alternative fuels or reducing your consumption, et cetera. You get in contact with these groups, get involved, and they assist you to go towards that, right?
That's right. Providing assistance, technical assistance, resources. As I've been poking around the last probably year or so, I've uncovered more and more incentives, tax incentives, grants, various things the government is doing to move to a cleaner
Yeah,
economy, basically. Yeah.
that's amazing stuff. So, do you have to prove what you're doing there in order to get these incentives, or they don't directly pay you the money? Clean Cities doesn't, right?
No, they
But
provide
they
technical
assist you on how
assistance.
to get that assistance, right? How to go get those grants or that financial assistance to make certain things happen, right?
Right. They're not grant writers, but they have technical resources and all kinds of resources to plug you in. That's basically providing technical assistance, industry partners, resources. And so, yeah, they're involved, but they're not, grant writing,
Right.
basically.
But but if you're looking to do a test or you want to be one of these people that you hear about people testing the new Nikola Tray or whatever it happens to be, right? Or the Hyliion, a new Hyliion powertrain or whatever it happens to be. How do you get involved there? These guys can help you do that, right? So they'd find other partners within that state or city or wherever you're at that can help you link. And if you're one of these providers, if you get involved with these, they give you more exposure to people who are looking for maybe your type of solution or would be open to it, right?
Right.
Okay,
I'm
so
just
they're
scratching the
linking.
surface. Yeah, I'm just scratching the surface of it, just getting involved for the first time in
Yeah.
it. And yeah, it's been really interesting seeing how things are developing. So I've got a hypothetical question for you.
Uh-oh.
All right. So
The answer is here.
let's say the state of Tennessee said, we've decided we're going to get rid of all electrical transmission, all the wires, all the poles. We're tired of it. Plus, we can't support the infrastructure built in the 50s and 60s anymore. We're going away from electrical transmission over the wires and poles, right? And we're going to move to a system where every house is going to have their own storage of energy and their own batteries, generators. They're going to run their own house, right? But we're going to put $1 billion into buying commercial grade generators and batteries and capacitors, and we'll provide incentives for you if you want to use solar, wind, hydro, other things to supplement your power. So if you have 10 TVs, maybe you want to supplement your power a little bit. So do you think that would, hypothetically, do you think that would change industry, and would it change consumer behavior?
No, I don't think it would. Yeah, yeah, of course. Yes, it would. It would drastically change things,
Right.
right?
Right.
Absolutely, it would. Absolutely, it would. And
Yeah.
there'd be companies that would say, well, if we have to move towards this, it's going to tank us. And then there'd be people like you and I are going to say, wait a minute, there's all kinds of blue opportunities. There's a blue ocean of opportunities to go after here, right? So,
That's right.
yeah, I mean, well, but didn't the IRA kind of do that? I mean, not the IRA like people might be thinking. The Inflation Reduction Act, IRA, that Biden didn't that $370 billion kind of, isn't that kind of what the attempt was, right? To incent and put that money out there to build alternative ways, not as drastic as let's get rid of all the electrical copper wires that are flying around all over the place. But I mean, in all practicalities, almost the same thing, right?
And that's a good point. I'm starting to see more and more and hearing more and more, probably because I'm involved in fuel every day, but I'm hearing more and more. There's grants for this. There's incentives for that. There are initiatives over here at this Department of Energy facility. There's this lab over there that's doing all kinds of alternative fuel testing. There is just there. And yes, altogether through incentives and grants and write-offs, there is $380 billion, $382 billion, I think it is, that the Inflation Reduction Act incorporates, basically.
Right. Yeah. Right. So pretty much, I mean, that's yeah, I mean, that's where, and if you're not taking advantage of that and you're in the space, why aren't you? I mean, I'm not, because plastics isn't in there, but you know,
right.
But
well, the cool thing that you're doing and we're doing, and we're doing together is monetary gains, right? Go cleaner, go greener, but you're making more money at the same time.
Well, here's, and you know what, and that is, as awesome as that is, and it is incredibly awesome. It really is. It's amazing that, because you were telling me, we were talking to somebody late last week or earlier. What was it, yesterday? Was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday.
Earlier this week. Yep.
Was it earlier this week? What day is it?
It was anyway? Monday. I think.
Oh, is today Wednesday already? Holy
mackerel. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Time
as
flies.
Amazing as it is that the savings that you can realize using CyberFuels, right? As amazing as that, because this is something that does not require any. You don't have to go get a grant. You don't need a grant or anything like that. You don't have to get crazy and join a coalition and maybe somebody's going to do this or maybe somebody's going to do that or somebody's going to come in and put a diesel generator and start charging your electric trucks at night for you. The test to see if they work. You go get this, and your savings is like what, 200% of the cost, something like that. I mean, if you do the math right,
it could be anywhere from like 150 to 300%, depending on the price of diesel and gasoline and so forth. But on average, we're reducing the spend on fuel by 10 to 20%.
Yeah, right. Yep. This is private industry doing this, right? And that's one of the things I try and get people to realize is that ESG, sustainability, reducing emissions, all this kind of stuff are huge opportunities for you. Utilizing the technology and the science behind a CyberFuels or all the other, cyber fuels out there, the whatever that technology might be, those disruptors, those people that are coming up with these green initiatives, are huge, huge positive gains for not only environment and economically, but also social impacts as well. It's creating more jobs, it's creating different jobs, it's spreading wealth in a different way, in the way that it needs to be, right? Because the haves and have-nots are going to change, and they have to, in order for us to make this. But it takes the minds, the brilliant minds that built up the industry and the fleets that we have now to go, wait a minute, we actually need to go try this and do this.
Right. Absolutely. It takes people adopting the technology, of course, for it to keep going, or it can't keep
going. And here's the thing. You don't have to do anything to your truck for this.
That's right.
You literally take a bottle of stuff and throw it in the tank and go, holy mackerel, this stuff works.
That's right. Absolutely. And we're working on all kinds of different models, as you know, mobile fuel delivery, tanks that ride on the big rig and dose the fuel automatically, tank farms, all kinds of different ways to treat fuel, but make it burn more completely, reduce emissions, clean out the engine, all of those things. That there's 6 benefits in one that we talk about. And that's why we're getting an average of 20% fuel economy improvement.
That is, I mean, it's incredible stuff. So people need to check it out, but and check out Clean Cities. Wow. I'm going to have to check these guys out. I wonder if it's all fuel, right?
It is. It's all about fuel and mobility, really. It's transportation, it's fuel, it's mobility, is what it is. And it encompasses a lot of things, changing the way that we transport people, changing the way that we transport goods. Fuel economy is mentioned multiple times. Alternative fuels is mentioned. Idle reduction, and supporting emerging technology. So yeah, it's interesting. We fit right in to all.
Yeah,
of that.
I met John at John Overly. I met him at a grand opening of a EV charging station manufacturer that was opening here in Tennessee. As I ran into him, but yeah, it's all about it's about the fuel, but it's also about the infrastructure of our highways and byways, et cetera. And also, like you said, it's also supply chain. It's the logistics of supply chain, moving things more efficiently in a better manner, whether they be people or commodities. Right.
Absolutely. Really yeah, there's just all kinds of things happening. Every week there's more announcements of, oh, check this technology out. What's going on over here? So-and-so built a maritime vessel to run on methane. I mean, there's just all kinds of things happening all the time. And as a company, CyberFuels is moving along with industry and government policy. I mean, so as things progress, different fuels are introduced, et cetera, we'll keep on moving with it, right? That's the idea.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Well, very interesting stuff. Thank you, Michael, for first of all introducing me to Jonathan, and
of course,
and then also coming on and talking about sustainability with me. It's a lot of fun.
I'll be here every week, my friend. I'll be here every week. And you know what I'm doing right now? I'm taking literally Gaylord boxes, and people who are looking to save money on diesel will know what a Gaylord is, right? They should, I would think. Right? A Gaylord size box full of plastic waste. And I'm reducing it to a Gaylord size box that's about that full of plastic waste. Not by getting rid of 90% of it, but at source, our machine grinds it and makes it the volume weight metrics 70x better. So you can fit 70 times the plastics on a truck than you can baled plastics. It's a huge, huge difference. And We do it at source, and it's ready, already processed, cleaned, and ready to go into production. So when I'm sitting here in Chattanooga, this plastic that I'm grinding, I got from Chattanooga. You know where it's going to be put back into a product? 10 miles away from where I am right now.
You're not going to go ship it over to China or India?
Nope.
That's a lot of saved miles and fuel and logistics.
You're darn right. You're darn right. And when we put it in that straight truck that's going to be taking it over to production, we'll dump some CyberFuel in that tank as well.
There we go, man. It's exciting times. I know a lot of people have angst over sustainability and have things that are going on, but it also really opens up a lot of opportunity. It really does.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. But it's awesome. It's great stuff. I love the CyberFuels. I love being involved. Thank you for getting me involved in it, my friend.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun, man. We're in chapter 1 of a very interesting book, my friend. Well, that's going to do it for our show today. Thanks for listening or watching, everybody. And we will see you again soon. Take care.
Right on. Peace and love.